So I am Valerie Upham, and I have been a realtor for 15 years. And I would say about 13 of those 15, I have focused on working with older adults. My parents are both 80 years old, and I'm from Iowa. And selfishly, I kind of wanted to know what was ahead for them. So over the past 10 years, I've been trying to pay attention so that I would be able to care for their needs as well. And not only in real estate, but in their financial and legal documents as well. And so that's kind of close and near to my heart. My father moved out from Des Moines, Iowa just over a year ago, and he moved in with my husband and my children and I. So I'm what you call the sandwich generation. So I've got my children to care for, and myself, and my father as well. And then the rest of my family, my mom and stepdad, are all back in Iowa. What I have found most interesting early on in my career was that I was working with the adult children of seniors after someone had passed. And I got to the point, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, where I realized, although I enjoy working with the families, I also enjoy working with the people. So I had missed out on all these people that were gone, and I wanted to get to know the seniors themselves. And so at that point, I began on this journey, and so here I am on stage. Okay, so today I'm going to be speaking about when moving makes sense or not, Proposition 60 and 90, how to tackle the belongings in your home, and how to get the most money out of your home. And whether you have a home that you plan to stay in forever or not, this information is still really valuable, because someday you may move not at your choice because there could be a health issue and there's a reason that you need to move. And so I want to make sure that you get the most money out of your home when and if that day comes. So it says, I'm not ready. I have all the things around me here that please me. I don't have the energy to move the things, so it's easier to stay in my home. But according to AARP, 90% of people plan to stay in their home. And then in reality, the real numbers are that about 83% of people end up staying in their home. So that's 17% of our older population that ends up moving. So why do they move? Well, this shows here, home maintenance becomes a burden. About 42% of people say that the home is too large for them. Maybe it's a 2-story home and they need to, remove the stairs from their lives. And also health and well-being. So 34% of the people say that they end up moving because of their health, or maybe their spouse has passed. There's something occurs that's emergent and causes them to move. So what I want you to do is to be prepared. If you get nothing else out of this presentation today, then I want you to be prepared. Proposition 60 and 90. Is anybody familiar with Proposition 60? No? Okay, so Proposition 60 allows you to move out of your primary residence and move into another residence and take your tax basis with you. So what that means for you is that if you were to sell a $600,000 home, so in today's market it costs $600,000 when you sell your home, but maybe you bought it for $20,000 back in 1960. And so your tax basis is, I'm just rounding, $1,000 a year. Well, buyers in our market, if you buy a $600,000 home, your property taxes are going to be roughly $8,500 a year. So that's a huge increase in your expenses at a time in your life when you're trying to cut back and budget for some of us. And so this is a huge benefit. And for those people who do want to downsize and move from that 3,000 square foot home, 2-story home with all of the responsibility, you can move to a single-story home and buy a home of equal or lesser value is the primary responsibility. And the county only allows you to do this one time. You have to be 55 years or older. And if you're married, only one of you is required to be 55 years or older. The Proposition 90 portion comes into play when you're moving out of San Diego County to another county within California, or from another county to San Diego. Not all counties cooperate, but there are a lot. There are several counties that do. And I have the website down here, www.boe.ca.gov, and there's a phone number. And my notes are going to be at the back of the room, so you can pick up a packet if you'd like, and that information will be there for you. This is a huge, huge savings. And then I would say, out of my clients, some of my favorite clients that I've worked with and I've sold their home, you know, they've been in their homes for 30, 40 years, in some cases 50 years. And when I see them after they've moved into like an independent senior community, they are so happy and relieved, and all of that stress of packing and, you know, it's all gone, and they look so happy, and all the, you know, they're just smiling and very grateful for the choice that they made. And it feels good to be part of that. If you have children, a lot of times people are concerned about becoming a burden on their children. And I have to tell you firsthand, I'm so grateful that my father has moved out here. It took him 2 years to prepare his home, because he had to go through every single piece of paper in that home, God bless him. And it took a very long time because he's very meticulous. Not everybody does it take 2 years. He's a special person. And so everybody works at their own pace. It's a process. And I just want you to know that you can start with one drawer at a time. You know, just take it slow. Most people are very pleased after they move. So why should you prepare now? Really, so you can stay in control of your decisions. Make the decisions for yourself. If it does come to the point where you do need to downsize, then you're making all the decisions along the way. So by starting today and going one closet at a time, one drawer at a time, then you're deciding what things you get to keep and what things you're going to donate or perhaps sell in an estate sale. It increases the value of your home by decluttering and starting that process now. And you may ask, well, what does decluttering have to do with the value of my home? Most buyers, as they're walking through a home and they see your belongings, they create a story in their mind about you. And you really want a buyer to walk in your home and to imagine themselves there. When they see your belongings, they're looking at your things and they're not taking in the house. And when they can imagine themselves living there and the home is not cluttered, then they feel a connection to the home, and then they're going to want to write an offer on your home. And even better yet, more people are going to come through your home and they're going to feel connected. And then now you're talking about multiple offers, and the more offers that you have, the price goes up. So your value is going up. So decluttering does equate to money in your pocket. So my message today, one of my messages, is to devise a plan in advance. And so obviously you're all here today because you're planning for your future. And there are several trusted advisors out there. So your elder law attorney, your CPA, perhaps your church, your friends, your family. And I want you to know that they're there for you. There are a lot of people who work with older adults, a lot of services that are available to you that you may not be aware of. There are senior move management companies. They come in and they will work with you either to pack your things and move for you. But what I really like about the senior move management companies is they take your existing home, the belongings in your existing home, and when they move you to your new home, they set up your new home to resemble or to mirror your old home. So for example, they can take all of your prescriptions in your medicine cabinet and put it in your new medicine cabinet in the exact same order. So they try to keep the move, make the move as comfortable as possible for you. So that way in your new home, you're more relaxed and you know where to find things. The senior move management companies will also assist you, if you wish, to pack things for you. Maybe there are some things up in closets high up that are hard to reach. Maybe you can't bend down. So they will pack your belongings with you or for you, so you can participate in that process. Also, in regards to, peek at my list, there are placement services. So if you're not sure where you want to move, there are companies that will assist you with previewing several different senior communities, independent communities, assisted living, because everybody has different needs. And so they'll find out what your needs are and assist you throughout that process. Now, estate sale companies are another topic. A lot of times people that I have worked with, by the time I meet them, they've already started giving away things, boxes of puzzles, books, personal belongings, and there we go. With the estate sale companies, there are different levels of estate sale companies. There are people who have been doing this for 30 years, and then there are people who are just getting started in the business. And the difference is that the people who've been doing this 30 years, they want to make sure that as many of your belongings are still in the home so that they can sell them, because they're looking at the bottom line. The more they can sell, the more that you're netting, the more that they're netting. And so once you start giving away these small things, then there's oftentimes not enough for the more well-known companies to do the job for you. And so then you're left with less experienced people, and then you're getting less money for the items that you're selling. And there are also liquidating companies who will come in, and if you are ready to move, you know what you want to take with you, and there's not enough items to do an estate sale, then they'll come in and they'll offer you one price for everything else that's left in the home. And what's nice about the liquidators is that they clean out your house so that it can be ready for the market. There's not one more thing that you have to do, and they remove any trash if there's any left. So you have a clean slate to work with before you would put it on the market. And then of course, care management companies and elder law attorneys are great resources. And then a seniors real estate specialist, I guess I haven't really talked about that. So I have a designation, a seniors real estate specialist designation, and I got additional training so that I could work with older adults and specialize in meeting your needs. And not everybody has this designation, but there's a lot of different things or avenues that you may take in your life where that specialist really comes into play, as opposed to working with a realtor that doesn't know about all these different facets. And it's all part of the service. As you're clearing out your home, where do you begin, right? I talked about the drawer and the closet. You can give your items, if you are not going to do an estate sale, you can give your items to your family. We can give your items to your family regardless. You can give your things to your family before you do the estate sale. And you can also donate items to your church. There, you can give things to Goodwill, Salvation Army. I do not recommend that you do your own garage sale. I highly recommend doing the estate sale route if you want to do that. And I talked about the liquidator. And keep the things that you can't live without. A lot of times too, when people are trying to figure out where they're going to go, it's often good to know where you're going to go first, so that you can then, it'll be easier to know what to let go of. Because a lot of times you're not going to be able to take everything with you. It's not all going to fit. So figuring out where you're going first, and then starting to downsize after. Okay. And then my last topic is how to get the most money out of your home. So do you sell the home in its current condition as is, or do you make repairs and handle maintenance, deferred maintenance items? Well, that is completely up to you, but I can tell you where you're going to get your biggest return on your investment, and that is with painting the walls and the flooring, but specifically with carpet. You're going to get your biggest return on investment if you paint, and sometimes painting the exterior, it just depends on the home, but definitely the interior. And by replacing the carpet with something neutral, and I've sold a lot of homes where I've seen the orange shag carpet from the 70s, and that's got to go in order for you to get more money from your home. You want to appeal to more buyers, and going with neutral colors, either the grays or the tans, is going to appeal to more buyers. And sometimes people will say, well, you know, they're going to rip it out and they're going to put in hardwood floors or tile. That's okay. The carpeting can be donated to someone else, because even if the buyer gets rid of the new carpet that you've purchased, that investment by you will still return you a better yield when you sell your home, because the home will appeal to more people, so which will get you more offers. Also, that the older carpet that may be in the home is not going to appeal as many people, and they're also going to assume that it's going to cost more to replace it than it really is. Carpet is not very expensive. So those are the two biggest things. This is an example of a home that I sold where they redid the landscaping, and they netted an extra $24,000 because they changed out the landscaping, they took care of a few small deferred maintenance items, and then we also staged the home. So lastly, I'm going to show you the staged home. A staged home, does anybody know what a staged home is? What staging is? Are you familiar with property staging? Okay, a couple of you. So staging of a home really makes your home look as close to a model home as possible. In some instances, a staging company can come in and they will replace your furniture, or they will take your existing furniture and rearrange it to open up the room so it's more spacious and more inviting. How we live and how we display our homes are often different. And so here, they changed out the table, they got rid of the green rug and put in a newer one. But you can see it's this beautiful architectural, you know, design in the dining room here, and this is the before and after. Here, the seller had replaced the carpet. They also painted the interior, and you can see the staging company brought in furniture. In this home, they kept the old curtains. You're going to see the curtains in the back. The curtains do need to be replaced, but for this seller to actually replace them didn't make financial sense. So we kept the old curtains, and then it also gave them privacy so people couldn't look in. And then we removed the furniture because they had an estate sale. And then you can see that they painted the fireplace mantle, and it just gives it a completely different look. Here, they used the homeowner's, one of his couches, but then they complemented the furniture by bringing in additional furnishings. And then we took off the curtains. They did not replace them again, not worth the money. And we have this beautiful home. So if this sounds a little bit overwhelming, I want you to know that you're not alone. There are trusted advisors, you have your family. There are people out there who can help you through this process. I don't want this to be a burden on you. I want you to know that this is a process that you can do over time, and there are resources out there available to you. So that's all. That's it. So thank you very much.